What is it that makes an older woman absolutely irresistible in the eyes of a man? Is it the dress she wears, the way she moves, or something far deeper that goes beyond skin and fabric? Today, let's uncover the 8 sexiest things older women wear, not just in style, but in spirit, that captivate men in ways you might never have expected. When a woman wears confidence, it becomes the first thing people notice long before the color of her dress or the style of her shoes. For older women especially, this kind of confidence is different. It's not the loud, performative kind that seeks approval. It's quiet, lived in, and deeply rooted in self-acceptance. Men are naturally drawn to it because it doesn't beg to be seen. It simply is. When an older woman walks into a room and feels good in what she's wearing, that inner comfort radiates outward. It affects her posture, her eye contact, the way she moves, the way she laughs. Confidence becomes the accessory that can't be bought and the fragrance that can't be bottled. Men might not be able to name it outright, but they feel it in their bodies. They feel it in the way she holds herself. What's particularly powerful is that confidence in clothing has little to do with how fashionable the piece is, and everything to do with how it reflects who she truly is. When she chooses clothes that align with her identity, her values, her lifestyle, her moods, she sends a message that she knows who she is, and she's at peace with that. That kind of message is irresistible. It tells a story of maturity, self-trust, and clarity. It tells the world that she has nothing to prove, only something to express. A man feels this presence. He notices the difference between a woman dressing for attention and a woman dressing because she already has attention from herself. That shift in energy is subtle but profound. There's also something incredibly attractive about how confidence makes everything else seem intentional. Whether she's in jeans and a simple tee or a sleek dress and heels, the clothing becomes a reflection of her wholeness. Men are not just looking at what she's wearing, they're looking at how she carries what she's wearing, and when she wears it like it belongs to her and not borrowed from someone else's idea of what's sexy, it becomes undeniably appealing. Confidence is timeless, and in the presence of an older woman who wears it like skin, men feel a pull that goes deeper than aesthetics. Elegance is one of those qualities that doesn't shout, it whispers with intention. When an older woman chooses elegance over flash, she sends a message that she values depth over display. Men notice this. They may not consciously label it as elegance, but they feel the calm, grounded energy it gives off. It's in the way she selects soft, classic colors rather than loud patterns that demand attention. It's in the way she wears a structured blazer instead of a plunging neckline, or how she lets the natural drape of her dress speak for itself rather than relying on sequins or sparkle. Elegance is refined, it is subtle, and it has a presence that lingers. There's something deeply sensual about a woman who knows she doesn't need to reveal everything to be seen. She understands the value of restraint, not as a limitation, but as a form of self-respect. That choice alone is compelling. It creates an experience rather than a reaction. Elegance allows space for imagination. A flowy skirt that catches the breeze, or a blouse that hints at shape without clinging too tightly. It leaves room for curiosity. And men are drawn to that kind of understated invitation more than they are to anything overt or exaggerated. Men also recognize when a woman dresses for her own standards rather than external validation. Elegance signals discernment. It reflects the wisdom of knowing what flatters her body and what feels aligned with who she is. There is thoughtfulness in it. Men admire when a woman takes care of her appearance not to fit in, but to honor herself. That effort feels different. It's not rooted in insecurity, but in self-awareness. What also stands out is the emotional tone that elegance brings. It brings calm, warmth, and softness, Rather than intensity or performance, it creates a feeling of being around someone who is emotionally safe, balanced, and deeply in touch with herself. The way she wears a scarf gently around her neck, or the way her clothes move in sync with her body, it's all part of an aura that feels composed and inviting. Elegance doesn't distract from who she is, it reflects it. And that kind of presence stays in the minds of men long after she's walked away. There's a quiet power in a woman who wears clothing that truly fits her body, not just what's trending on social media or in fashion magazines. Men notice when a woman embraces her unique shape instead of fighting it. Clothes that fit well suggest she knows and respects her body. And that kind of self-awareness is deeply attractive. There's nothing more captivating than a woman who looks completely at ease in what she's wearing, because that ease speaks to a comfort that goes beyond fabric. It speaks to self-acceptance. When she chooses a dress that gently hugs her waist, or a jacket that frames her shoulders just right, she's sending a message that she's in tune with herself, not trying to be someone else. Well-fitting clothes highlight the natural beauty of a woman's body at any age. They don't have to be tight or revealing, they simply have to align with her proportions and movement. A pair of pants that sit perfectly on her hips, or a blouse that allows her arms to move gracefully, tells a story of thoughtful choice. Men pick up on this more than they often realize. They see it in the way she walks, in how she carries herself, in the confidence that radiates when she's not adjusting or tugging or hiding. There's a natural sensuality that comes from looking comfortable in one's skin. And that is often amplified by clothing that complements her rather than competes with her. When a woman dresses for her shape, not for the gaze of others, it reflects independence. It shows that she's not ruled by the trends of the moment or by someone else's definition of what's stylish or sexy. Instead, she chooses clothes that help her feel grounded and whole. Men admire that quiet refusal to conform, and they respect the maturity it reflects. It's not about trying to look younger, it's about honoring where she is right now. That authenticity comes through in every detail, from the cut of her dress to the arch of her shoes. She isn't dressing to distract, she's dressing to reveal herself more fully. And that kind of expression creates a deeper connection, one that feels real, intentional, and magnetic. The mystery has always had a unique pull, and when it comes to attraction, it can be more powerful than anything openly revealed. When an older woman chooses clothing that offers just a hint of allure without bearing everything, she steps into a space where curiosity thrives. Men are naturally drawn to that. It's not just about what is visible, but about what is left to the imagination. A blouse that falls off one shoulder, a slit in a skirt that only shows when she walks, or a glimpse of lace under a blazer. These subtle choices stir more interest than full exposure ever could. It's in the suggestion, the invitation to wonder, that the real magnetism lies. The beauty of mystery is that it doesn't come from hiding, but from revealing strategically. An older woman who understands this knows how to create presence without speaking. She understands that what's most attractive is often what's not immediately obvious. Men feel this. They respond to the way she keeps them intrigued. How her style doesn't give everything away at once. This kind of expression suggests that there is depth behind her choices, that there's a story worth discovering, and that she won't just hand it over to anyone. It creates value, it creates anticipation. This sense of mystery isn't about being closed off, it's about being intentional. She might wear a long coat with a bold color underneath, or let a scarf fall in a way that teases the neckline. Each element is like a quiet invitation to get closer. Men find this deeply engaging because it gives them space to be curious. It gives them a chance to pay attention, to lean in, and to discover her slowly. That process is rare, and that rarity makes it even more attractive. There's also an emotional mystery at play here. The way she dresses may reflect complexity, strength, balanced by softness, confidence paired with vulnerability. When a woman's clothing reflects layers, it tells men that she herself has layers. And that's where the deeper allura begins. She isn't just putting on clothes, she's crafting an experience, one that asks not to be consumed quickly, but to be understood gradually. This approach draws men in, not just with their eyes, but with their interest, their imagination, and their respect. There's something deeply sensual about texture, about the way certain fabrics move, feel, and interact with the body. When an older woman wears clothing made of quality materials, soft cashmere, smooth silk, crisp cotton, it creates a quiet, tactile allure that men notice in subtle but powerful ways. It's not just about how these fabrics look, but how they communicate warmth, softness, and refinement. A silk blouse that catches the light as she moves, a wool coat that looks cozy and enveloping, or a velvet dress that suggests depth and richness. These are more than fashion choices, they're sensory experiences, and they leave a lasting impression. Men may not always be able to name what draws them in, but they're often responding to the feeling these textures evoke. Silk suggests luxury and intimacy. Cashmere speaks of comfort and sophistication. A well-worn denim jacket paired with something soft underneath can create a contrast that feels both grounded and exciting. When a woman wears these fabrics with intention, she's telling a story, not just through color or style, but through touch, through how something might feel if someone were close enough to experience it. This kind of sensuality is never loud or exaggerated. It's felt in the way a scarf gently drapes around her neck, or the way her dress moves as she walks. Quality fabrics tend to move with the body, not against it, and they reflect light, structure, and emotion in ways that fast fashion never can. That care in choosing what feels good on her skin translates into how others feel around her. Men may not comment on the fabric directly, but they sense the softness, the care, the elegance behind the choice. There's also something inherently mature and intentional in choosing quality over quantity. It reflects a woman who knows herself and understands that lasting impact doesn't come from flashy pieces, but from those that speak to the senses. Men are drawn to that level of refinement because it reveals not only her aesthetic, but also her emotional intelligence. When a woman surrounds herself in fabrics that feel as good as they look, she invites the world to engage with her on a deeper, more intimate level. It becomes more than style, it becomes presence. Accessories are often underestimated, but they have the power to transform an entire look and express volumes without a single word. When an older woman chooses a signature accessory, something that feels uniquely hers, she creates a strong and memorable impression. Whether it's a patterned silk scarf, a striking ring, vintage earrings, or a bold red handbag, these pieces speak to her individuality and her sense of story. Men are drawn to this kind of self-prepossession, even if they don't realize it consciously. It shows that she's not afraid to stand out in a subtle, meaningful way. What makes accessories so powerful is that they're often personal. They aren't just decorative, they're intentional. A woman who wears a brooch that once belonged to her grandmother, or a necklace she found on a solo trip, isn't just accessorizing, she's carrying pieces of her life with her. Men sense that. They may not know the backstory, but they can feel that there is a story. That depth adds richness to her presence and makes her more captivating. She becomes not just a woman with good style, but a woman with character. There's also something quietly seductive about the way accessories draw the eye. A delicate chain that rests just above the collarbone, a pair of glasses that frame her face with confidence, a watch that peeks out from beneath her sleeve. These small touches invite attention to details. Men often find this deeply attractive because it invites a slower kind of noticing. It's not just one loud statement, it's a series of soft, intentional cues that say, look closer, there's more here. Accessories also reflect emotional energy. Bold earrings may reflect creativity. A classic pair of heels might suggest elegance and control. A stack of thin bangles could signal warmth and playfulness. These pieces don't just complete an outfit, they amplify her essence. When a woman chooses accessories that reflect who she is, she shows the world that she's not trying to disappear into the background. She's curating her own visual language. And men are often fascinated by the quiet confidence that comes with that. They're drawn to a woman who dresses with thought, who values detail, and who brings her personality into every piece she wears. That kind of style feels real, and it lingers in memory. Effortless style is one of the most captivating things an older woman can embody, and men are especially drawn to it. It's not about looking perfect or polished in a traditional sense. It's about wearing clothes that feel like an extension of her, as if they belong to her naturally. There's a quiet confidence in a woman who doesn't look like she tried too hard, but still commands attention with her presence. That kind of style speaks of comfort with who she is, of not needing approval to be seen. It tells a story of someone who's done the inner work and now wears her choices, not for validation, but as a reflection of her truth. Men notice this energy. They see the ease in her movements, the relaxed grace in the way her clothes hang, the harmony between her personality and her appearance. A soft sweater with jeans that fit just right, a flowy dress with sandals, a blouse with the sleeves casually rolled up. It's not extravagant, but it's real, and that realness is attractive. It suggests that she's not chasing beauty, she's embodying it in a way that's organic and fully her own. Effortless style shows restraint, intention, and a kind of maturity that can't be replicated through fast fashion or trends. There is something magnetic about a woman who doesn't feel the need to over-accessorize, over-reveal, or over-perform. Her choices feel balanced and centered, and that balance is a reflection of her emotional steadiness. She knows what works for her, and she doesn't complicate it. That kind of ease is rare, and men feel its impact deeply. It's calming, inviting, and quietly powerful. They sense that she would be the same person with or without attention, and that independence is alluring. Effortless style also reveals trust in one's instincts. When a woman can pick out an outfit in 5 minutes that feels completely her, it means she knows herself. She's tuned in, not to trends, but to her own rhythm. And that internal alignment shows. There's nothing forced, nothing trying to impress. It's all just honest, present, and graceful. Men respond to that authenticity more than anything else because it makes them feel like they're not just seeing her appearance, but experiencing her essence. Clothing has the power to carry emotion, and when an older woman wears something that reflects how she feels inside, it becomes more than just fabric. It becomes a message. Men may not always recognize it in words, but they feel the emotional tone behind what she wears. Whether it's the bold energy of a vibrant color, the softness of a flowing dress, or the strength of structured tailoring, each choice speaks to a part of her internal world. That emotional resonance is incredibly attractive because it invites connection on a deeper level. It's not just about what looks good on the outside, it's about what's being communicated from within. When a woman chooses her outfit based on how she wants to feel or what she wants to express that day, she's making a statement without needing to explain it. A red dress may not just be about style. It may explain confidence, passion, or a playful spark. A neutral palette might reflect calm, peace, or introspection. Men pick up on those signals even if they can't always articulate them. They sense when a woman is dressing in alignment with her emotions, and it draws them in because it feels genuine. It tells them that there's depth behind her beauty, that there's an emotional world worth exploring. This kind of expression also shows vulnerability in the best possible way. It reveals that she's not afraid to let her clothes mirror her inner life. There's courage in that kind of transparency. A woman wearing something soft and romantic isn't trying to impress anyone. She's simply allowing herself to be seen in the fullness of her emotion. That kind of openness is magnetic. It invites curiosity and empathy. Men are often more emotionally perceptive than they're given credit for, and they respond strongly to a woman who shows her layers, not just through words, but through style. What stands out most is the intention behind it. When she dresses with emotion, she brings her whole self into the moment. Her outfit becomes part of her energy, her story, her presence. It reflects that she's not trying to be someone else. She's fully rooted in her own identity, and that kind of alignment is powerful. It makes her unforgettable, not because of the clothes alone, but because of the honesty they carry and the feeling they leave behind. When it comes to what truly makes older women irresistibly attractive to men, it's never just about the clothes themselves. It's about the woman who wears them. Each piece, each fabric, each detail becomes a language of self-expression. It's the confidence that radiates from wearing something that feels true. It's the elegance that doesn't chase attention but naturally draws it. It's the perfect fit that honors her body, not someone else's standard. In the mystery that invites curiosity, the textures that speak to the senses, the accessories that whisper personality, the effortless style that reflects inner peace, and the emotional resonance that connects her appearance with her soul. Men are drawn not to flash but to feeling, to the story behind the style. And when a woman dresses in alignment with who she truly is, her presence becomes magnetic, her style unforgettable, and her sexiness timeless.